Yay Networks.
Welcome back to In the Cards and Stars. I'm your host, Brit, and today we are doing a little bit of a wild episode, but it is Aquarius season, so we've been going off the grid lately, and this is another detour. So we're going to be talking about some sports tea, okay? The astrology of sports, if you will. If you guys are watching this over on the Brit Madrid YouTube channel, then you can see that my outfit is full Chiefs gear. I've got my Chiefs jersey situation on. I've got my eye black on with the Chiefs logos underneath. Yeah, I'm ready to go. You know, I'm in Kansas City and it's all anybody's talking about. Okay, so when I saw all of these like news articles talking about all of the Easter eggs around like 13 and all of these bizarre coincidences that have to do with the Super Bowl and like the timing of it all, I was like, okay, this is only half the story though. Here on In the Cards and Stars, we're going to dive into the complete story. We're going to look at all of it. So let's just dive into that right now. I am so excited to talk about it. So, Swifties, the amazing detectives that they have found a bunch of 13. As you guys know, Taylor's lucky number, her favorite number, the one that she has written on her hand year after year. Um, they have found a lot of like coincidences that revolve around the number 13. So let's go through them. So surrounding the Super Bowl, this is a really big deal because, you know, in her own words, she said, I was born on the 13th. I turned 13 on Friday the 13th. My first album went gold in 13 weeks. Also, my first song that ever went number one. It had a 13-second intro. I didn't even do that on purpose. She told Rolling Stone all of these things in 2020. So she started to get more outspoken about like these things that she's really passionate about. She started talking about numerology more. And these are the Easter eggs, though, that people have found surrounding this game, you know, the Super Bowl, the big game. Oh my gosh. And it's just adding to the Swiftie lore. If she makes the game, first of all, if she does make the game, then this is going to be an approximately 13-hour flight, you guys, from Tokyo to Las Vegas. It will be her 13th time attending a Kansas City Chiefs game to support Travis Kelce. That alone is wild. And this, of course, is Super Bowl 58, which if we add 5 and 8, we get 13, which adding digits like that is a numerology like tactic. So this is pretty wild, you guys. Also, the date of the Super Bowl, this is just too much for me, is February the 11th. 2 plus 11 is 13. So, I mean, as someone who looks at all of these things, like what she said to Rolling Stone, we know she's aware of these things. So, this is why people are like, wait, is she going to change her mind and do like a surprise performance? Maybe she's going to sing Karma and put that line, the guy on the Chiefs. I don't know, but this is pretty fun. Oh, also, wait, last but not least, this is just weird. The Chiefs are playing the 49ers. 4 plus 9 is 13. What? What? Okay, even if you don't believe in numerology, at this point, you got to be like, this is a little bit weird. Here's another thing she said about the number 13. She has said, every time I've won an award, I've been seated in either the 13th seat, the 13th row, the 13th section, or row M, which is the 13th letter. I'm telling you guys, she goes deep with this. Basically, whenever a 13 comes up in my life, it's a good thing. Let's talk about why certain numbers could possibly follow someone around. Like, what does that even mean? Right? That is so bizarre. So I'll tell you this. I am a firm believer, and we've talked about this before. I wear 111 on my wrist, and 111 or 11, when it comes to numerology, it is all about the energy of up leveling. It's an angel number associated with the archangel Michael, who's my favorite archangel. I also married someone named Michael. So it's like there are ways that when you tap into your intuition, you will find that you are tapping into this like sounds so crazy, but like this timeline, this invisible string. And it really is all kind of there for you. It's like manifesting the life that you were meant to live. I do believe that there are certain things, certain gifts that we have from the universe, like people that come into our lives, your marriage partner or your perfect dream job, your best friend, like all of these things, like there is an invisible string. Like some things are just meant to be. And you just have to get to like a certain point in like the timing. When the timing is right, it all will finally fall together and it'll feel right. And that's how you know this was like an angel thing or this was a spirit thing. So when it comes to these angel numbers, I believe that a lot of people have these numbers follow them around, but we don't always pay attention. It's about paying attention to the numbers that you're seeing whenever you go to stay at like a hotel, look at the numbers. Whenever you park in a parking spot, look at the numbers. And learning numerology, you can actually interpret these numbers to have little meanings for you. I believe that if you set the intention and you tell your angels, your guardian angel, just your angel's spirit, communicate, say, I would like for you to communicate with me through numbers. So I'm going to set the intention now that any number that I see that sticks out to me or any repeating number, I'm going to take that as a message. And then learn about the numbers, learn about numbers 1 through 9, and then 11 and 22, the master numbers 33. Learn about these meanings. And then once you do, you'll find that the messages that start to come through, it is so it's so spot on. It's like nothing you've ever seen in your life. It really will be something that starts to connect you to your intuition, to your destiny, to your angels more. And you'll be able to feel it. I mean, it's something you can feel. So if you haven't ever done that before, please start doing it. You will notice it and it will give you guidance. So, for example, if you're having a conversation with someone and it's like a really heartfelt conversation, oh my gosh, you guys, my mind is blown. Okay, hold on. Oh my gosh. I was just going to say, I'm so giddy. I was just going to say, if you're having a conversation with somebody, this is so by the way, the angels have just given us a little shout out, and a little shout out to you listening, sending you love. That is always what they're doing. So I was about to say, if you're having like a conversation with somebody and maybe it's getting heated and you're starting to feel like you're not on the same page, you're not coming to an agreement, you may glance at the clock and see that it's like 2:22. And what is so bizarre is before I could even get the words out, you guys, I looked over at my Rodecaster where I record the audio, and I always press the record like a little bit sooner than when I start talking. It was at 22 minutes, 22 seconds. I am like freaking out. Okay, so guys, confirmation. And again, this is like, this is the angels. Thank you, angels. This is the angels giving us confirmation as we are listening and as y'all are listening and as I'm discussing this, that yes, truly, this is real. Okay, your angels want to get in touch with you. Now let's chat about the number 13 and why this number would possibly follow Taylor around, what it means about her. I mean, Taylor Swift is arguably the most successful person of our time. She's influencing everything. In numerology, numbers are believed to influence people's personal lives, future events, and personality traits. So the day that you were born says something about you, says something about your personality and what your natural gifts and talents are. If you have like a double digit birthday, so like for example, Taylor 13, yes, we do look at that number 13, but then to get the energy and the essence of the person, we look at how the numbers 1 and 3 combine to create the energy of 4. So let's break it down. The energy of 1 in numerology is all about independence, courage, fearlessness, like Taylor's album Fearless. Um, it's about going out on a limb and not being afraid to embrace change, not being afraid to stand alone. People with 1 energy, they are here to push through, to create a new path. A lot of famous people have been born on the first. If you know anyone who's born on the first, then you know that those types of people are very independent and headstrong. My husband was born on the 28th, very much this energy. But so it combines, 13 combines the energy of 1. So that energy, which is shared with people who are born on any other day, that is either the first or that once you add everything together, it reduces to a 1. Combining that 1 energy with 3. And the 3 energy is very different from the 1 energy. The 3 energy is like emotion, creativity, softness. It can be a little bit scattered because it's actually putting its energy in so many different places. 3 is the number of expanding and creating and emoting. It is very, very social. It is more about being around a lot of people, less about just being with the self. And again, there's that emotional component that is really, really important for threes. They are some of the most like sensitive and emotional people, and they're the artists as well. So you combine the independent person with the feeling artist, and you get 4. Now, 4 is, again, a very different energy from the other 2. 4 energy is about building a house, a foundation. These are the hard workers. These are the worker bees. If you have 4 anywhere in your chart, you know that this is a part of your life that can feel like a challenge, but it can also feel like a breakthrough. It feels like you are able to do things. You can build, you can watch, you can actually see yourself build something out of nothing. And that is extremely satisfying. So wherever you have 4, it's like have you ever done like a long, like hard day of work and you get home and like you accomplished everything and it was tiring, but you did it. Like you did it. You pushed through and you lay your head down on the pillow that night and you just are like, you feel so satisfied and then you sleep soundly. That's 4 energy to me. It is that feeling that you did everything you came here to do. It's a satisfaction that is unlike any other. Like, I love that feeling of when you've just like pushed yourself and you've done everything and you feel so good about what you've accomplished that day. That's the 4, and that is what you have to build a strong foundation. And so this number 13 is significant because it is one of the karmic numbers. There are only a few karmic numbers in numerology. And these numbers are 13, 19. Dolly Parton was born on the 19th. We actually talked about that in that episode. There's so many ties between the two. 14. These numbers are karmic because the way that the energies blend has to do with the lessons that you're here to learn. So for Taylor, she's here to learn how to blend the energy of emotion, 3, and creativity with the energy of being an independent person who is unafraid, unapologetic. So as you can see, this is like kind of a heavy energy. She has to be able to like stand alone. And in many situations, she has had to stand alone. She has had to do things that made her feel afraid. If you arise to the occasion, if you accept the challenge of your karmic number, if you have a karmic number, then you see, look at Taylor Swift, what the outcome of that is. You see that like when much has been asked of you and you show up, much will be given to you. And truly the karma of, oh my God, and her song Karma, of course, but truly the karma of this number has to do with creating that stable foundation for energy out of being independent and fearless and creative and emotional and expressing yourself and allowing others to express themselves. When you have all that energy combined and you actually do that and you show up that way, karma always returns back to you what you give. So we can see that based on how Taylor's life is going, and this isn't always the case, right? Sometimes difficult things happen to good people for no reason other than this is just like, life. But I do think that in this case, because she's gotten such good karma that is just so above and beyond, and she was born on a karmic day number, it's like, wow, we see that this is really a return for what she has put in. She invested this energy, she invested her courage, she has worked tirelessly, fought to stay in the music industry, fought to stay on the scene. I mean, so many other people have fallen off and she's been in this and she's just stuck with it. And now look at her. She really has lived her karmic purpose. And I think that now she's entering a new phase where she has also met the person that's meant for her, tied to her by that invisible string. I feel like our heaviest karma typically is something that we get out of the way before we meet the person that we're meant to be with. I know that that was the case for me. I've seen a lot of my friends experience that as well. It's like things really happen when you are ready. And it's like facing those life challenges with like an open spirit of humility, with a willingness to learn. And it's like life will break you down until you fully crack open so that you can embrace like what is meant for you instead of what you're trying to force things to be. So, for example, like Taylor Swift with Joe Alwyn, we saw that that was a very different version of her. I think that I don't think she ever saw herself with someone like Travis Kelce. I think that's why in the very beginning, a lot of people were like, what? This guy is completely different from her usual type. She's been with musicians and then an actor and like very artsy guys. Like, this doesn't even make sense. But that's the thing. Like, your karmic partner, your twin flame, your, soulmate is not what you think. It's like what God thinks, what spirit thinks. So I did not mean for this to turn into like a spiritual podcast, but this is some spiritual stuff. Like this is some deep, deep spiritual stuff that we're talking about here. So okay. So that is that. Let's talk about the numerology of the NFL. This is just like interesting, I think. The NFL was founded on September 17th, 1920, making the NFL an eight energy Virgo, which is so interesting. So, eight is all about power. We're in an eight universal year in 2024, but eight is about like power and winning, abundance. And oh my gosh, the NFL is extremely abundant. One of the most profitable, wow, things that we have, on this freaking planet. Like the NFL makes bank. So, there's that eight energy of money, abundance, and then Virgo has to do with the body, it has to do with physical health. So power and physical health. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, so let's look at the year 2023 because this is the year that Taylor Swift really came onto the scene by attending her first game back in September of 2023. So 2023 for the NFL was actually a six personal year. And the way that you get a personal year is you just add up the number of birth month and birth day to the current year. For this, we did September, which is 9 plus 1 plus 7, because it was September 17th that it was founded, 8 when you put all that together. And then you do 8 plus 7 because 2023 2023. That comes to 7. You add those up. So 8 plus 7 equals 15, which equals 6. Now, 6 is the energy of healing, harmony, family, the divine feminine associated with Venus. And wouldn't you know that in 2023, with Taylor Swift arriving onto the scene, definitely a very divine feminine energy, this was the first time that we really saw families coming together with equal excitement about the NFL. We saw videos on TikTok and on the Today Show of daughters and fathers, singing Taylor Swift songs and also learning about sports together. Like, just for the first time, we really did see a bridge between the hyper masculine sports world and the ultra feminine Swifty world. And I really love it, bringing the masculine and the feminine together, coming into balance, mutual respect. I love it. I think it's amazing. And it's very, very Pluto and Aquarius. So let's see more of this, please. But I do think that this marked a beginning for that. We also saw just, I think it was today or yesterday, Kristen Juszczyk, who is the woman that designed Taylor's puffer coat that she wore to one of the really recent games, and everybody was talking about it. It was so cute. Well, she actually has a husband on the 49ers, and she's been designing this stuff for a while, just making really cute outfits for her to wear, you know, on the sidelines. And she designed outfits for Olivia Culpo, whose boyfriend also was an NFL player. But we saw that just the other day, or I don't know, it was yesterday or today. I just read it though. She just signed a deal with the NFL licensing her designs. So that is going to make her bank. So we see the creativity, femininity really being respected and really coming together with the NFL. I really, really like it. Like it also, as someone who is a former sports reporter, I used to cover the Dallas Cowboys. And then before that, I reported on indoor soccer for Time Warner Cable Sports and ESPN2. I did this for several years before like getting into this other stuff I'm doing. And I'll tell you, it is the most like male dominated industry. I met a lot of really nice people. It was great. Like, I don't mean that that's a bad thing at all. It's just like it's mostly men. It's just a masculine energy. That's what the focus is. That's what sports, really is about. And I love to see it. I really do. I think that it's fun to bring in a little bit of that feminine touch and to focus on things like fashion for women. And it was really cute how Taylor was wearing all of these like customized jewelry that had Travis's number on it. Like, I love that. And that's very much six energy of the feminine. Also, six is associated with the family, with motherhood, with fatherhood. So, yeah, this was just like 2023 was a great year that really kicked that off. Now, if you're wondering, well, why did Kristen Juszczyk sign that deal in January? Because it changes in January. We're in a new personal year for the NFL, which is a 7 year. And I will tell you this fun fact: when one year shifts into the next, oftentimes we will have a little bit of a holdover from the last year. It's not like a super abrupt shift. It's more of like it trickles in. The energy of the next year starts to like trickle in slowly, and it combines with the personal months as well. That's why that happened in January, but it was still like something set in motion during that sixth personal year. Moving right along. So let's talk about another sports tea prediction. Let's talk about Jason Kelce. I do want to pull some cards on this. So I listened to the New Heights podcast with my husband. Again, another way that Taylor Swift has brought my family together because I wasn't really that interested in listening to the podcast until I started listening because I wanted to hear if there was any like Taylor tea. And I really love it. They're funny. It's something that my husband and I can listen to together and we're both entertained. So, hey, there you go. But I am so curious because now I'm a fan of that podcast about whether or not Jason is going to stick around for another year or if he's going to leave. The documentary that he did, where he was just showing his process, showing everything that happens behind the scenes with his family. This was that Netflix documentary. It was so good. If you guys haven't seen it yet, it's so, so good. He talked a lot about like his just feeling sore and like his injuries and how it's just tough. It's rough on your body and how he's really struggling with the idea of retiring from the NFL, even though he has other things to do. Of course, like with this podcast, it's so successful, he'll be okay. But, you can imagine that you do that for, so many years and like how difficult that would be to give that up and make such a huge life transition. So I was really curious to see what personal year is he in because we're going to talk about Tom Brady in a second here and you're going to see just how much that aligned with the numerology. He was born on November the 5th. So, in order to get the number that we're going to add to this year's number to see what the vibe is, all we do is we add November, which is 11 plus 5. We get 16. And then that gives us 7 when we add the 1 and the 6. So, we're just going to add 7 to whatever year. So, for 2023, 7 plus the 2023 was a 14 energy. And 14 comes down to 5 when you add the 1 and the 4. This was the year that Taylor was in 2023 as well. This is all about like really, honestly, going to new heights. I mean, no pun intended, but like 5 is about the 5 senses, creativity, fun, just like having a good time. It's like really a highlight year. I love a 5 year. I just think that it really reinvigorates you. It like gets you excited about life again. And it's unexpected. 5 is about change and things that like you didn't really see coming, but it's like exciting and fun and like makes you feel like juiced up for life. Like you're ready to embrace new things when you get that 5 energy. So that means 2024 for him is going to be a 6 energy. And 6 is all about like responsibility. Venus, we talked about all that. So for him, that could indicate like another baby, even spending more time at home around your family. So because of the family oriented elements of 6, I'm like gravitating towards like maybe he would retire because 6 would be family responsibility. And if he retires, he would definitely be spending more time at home with his family, right? But then I'm thinking, but hold on. 6 is about like community as well. It's feeling like a family. I think the NFL feels like a family for Jason. The Eagles organization feels like a family. So I'm like, I don't know. And 6 energy, at least in my experience, when I've been in 6 energy, I've been like surrounded by friends and family and like people that I care about. I've had like a project or a job that like got me out and about around people that I care about, like, or gave me that flexibility, or like I met new friends. Like there were always like good things that have to do with other people, like what I'm currently doing, but like building on it in a 6 year. I just don't see I see 6 years being more of a building year, not really like a change year or a breaking down year. The only way that I could see it leading to or like having any commentary on his um decision to retire if he did decide to do that would be the representation of the 6 with the family because that could mean like his family of origin and wanting to like spend time there. So, okay. So I'm like, this is one of the hardest ones ever. That's where I'm gonna pull some cards. But so we have that. And then, in 2025, that is a 7 year. And I think that would be a better time to retire where he would feel more aligned. So I think that 2025, if I were to give him advice, if I were his personal astrologer, I would say don't retire in 2024 because it is such a positive year of like harmony and like blessings and like it's ruled by Venus. So and it's building on the new exciting opportunities that were initiated in a 5 year, the 6 year just like helps you build on that. And yes, he did this podcast, but I just feel like it's not quite done yet, with his career in the NFL. Because also in 2025, when he gets into a 7 year, that's the year of like soul searching. That is a year of going within, spirituality. It's finding success through being more like on your own. So I just think that like that makes more sense if someone were to retire in a 7 energy year would feel very aligned. To retire in a 6 energy year, I feel like it'd be harder. You'd feel like you were missing out because essentially you might be. I just don't think the timing's right. I really don't. So I hope that he retires in a 7 year. I hope that he gives it one more season so that he can enjoy the 6 energy and all the blessings that that brings, because I think he deserves it and it would be a really good year for him. Um, but and I think the 7 year would just that's just like the best time to retire. That's the best time to spend more time alone. A 7 year, that's what that's for. So yeah, that would just make more sense. So okay, that's what I hope he does. I'm just gonna leave it at that actually. And let's talk about Tom Brady before we go, because this was one of the most egregious examples of numerology in the wild just at work. Okay. So he was born August 3rd, 1977. Remember his double retirement? His his retirement, then he went back on it, retired again. I mean, that was wild. And I first looked up his numerology when that happened because I was so curious. He finally did retire February 1st, 2023. This was the announcement that actually stuck, but he temporarily retired in 2022. Now, being born on August 3rd, all you have to do is you add up 8 plus 3, that's 11. 1 and 1 is 2. So all you do is add 2 to the current year. So in 2023, if you add all that up, 2023 was a 9 year for him. 9 is all about completion, endings, tying up loose ends. But the fact that he tried to retire in 2022, which would be an 8 year for him, the year of abundance, a culmination of everything you've worked hard for, feeling like you're on top, money, power, like your rewards for everything you've worked for. It's like really being looked at as the authority, as the leader, the person that you dreamed of being. He had another year that he needed to like learn those lessons about personal power and all that stuff. And to just like keep playing for another year, even though it wasn't his best year, the 8 years is about the material plane and like being in the material world. Also, it was interesting that Giselle, like his marriage ended up breaking up. I wonder what year that was. Back in October of 2022, Giselle and Tom filed for divorce following 13 years of marriage. That has nothing to do with Taylor Swift this time, but this is from InStyle. The exes confirmed the news with separate statements shared to their Instagram stories. For her part, the model wrote, "With much gratitude for our time together, Tom and I have amicably finalized our divorce." Oh my gosh, they finalized it October of 2022. So if we want to find the energy of that month for him, is a 10. It's the 10th month. So it's really just a 1. Oh my God, you guys brace yourselves for this. October of 2022 for Tom, because he was in an 8 year, you add 8 plus 1, which is 9, the ending, tying up loose ends. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you guys, numerology is wild. It's absolutely insane. So yeah, oh my God. So he finalized his divorce in a 9 month, in an 8 year, which that's really about taking back your power, to be honest. I mean, we could do a deep dive tea session on all that. That tells me that he was feeling disempowered by the relationship. And also, as sad as it is, divorce is sad. You never wish that on anyone. But I think that things end for a reason. And um, for something to end in a 9 month and an 8 year, that's like needing to get your power back for sure. And needing to move forward as like a whole person. Um, wow, that's wild. And then the 9 year was when he retired from the NFL. So wow, what a time of change for him. Oh my gosh, 2022 to 2023. Like shift of identity. Like no longer are you married to this person, and then also you're not doing the career that you've done for all of your adult life. Wow. Is he okay? Has anyone checked on Tom Brady lately? But I will say after after the 9 year comes the 1 year. And the 1 year is new beginnings, excitement, the opportunity to pursue new things and to really embrace the feeling of a fresh start. So, and wow, does he ever have that in 2024? I'm just kind of fascinated by that though. So For February, so for him in February, let's see, that's when he made the announcement. So in February, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I like that. Okay. In a 9 year, February would be because you just add 2 to 9 and 11. Angel number 11. I love it. That's when he announced that he'll be quitting for good. It's a symbol of the gates, two gates. If you look at one and one, it's like gates opening up to your next level, the next leg of your journey. Walking through those gates, takes courage. If you want to up level, if you want to do something different, it takes courage, but you walk through those gates into a new chapter. Amazing. He was walking into his future, his new future. All that stuff had to happen for him to make that change. So that's a little bit of a numerology, a little sports tea, a little fun right there. This is a very nerdy episode. I know we definitely did a little deep dive, but I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. I love you guys so much. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And we are doing a little thing over here all the way until last day of February. If you guys will leave a review on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify, take a screenshot of it, DM it to me at Brit Madrid, my personal Instagram. I will pull a tarot card for you and do a little reading in the DMs. So just to say thank you. Ooh, whoa, almost forgot. Next episode is the 1 year birthday of In the Cards and Stars. So I want to do a live stream podcast episode. So be sure that you are over on the Brit Madrid YouTube channel. That's where I house all of these podcast video episodes. Be sure that you're subscribed with your notifications turned on because we are going to have a really fun hangout on the actual birthday of In the Cards and Stars, which is February 7th. Okay. So we're going to do some giveaways. It's going to be a good time. We're going to hang out. It's going to be so awesome. I can't wait. So be sure that you do not miss that. Oh my God, I'm so excited. All right, guys. I love you so much. I will see you at the birthday party.
Yay Networks.